No more whispering. Well, welcome. All right, this is a 10-15 minute show, and actually it depends how slow we talk. You know, when we need to stretch it out, we stretch it out. So, have you guys seen? Hi, you already. It's Lisa. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Welcome, Lisa.
So, have you seen any of cardboard theatre before? You've seen a bit of cardboard theatre, right? So cardboard theatre, we do it in Argentina mainly, but we do travel around the world to places. And we got inspired by a technique called kamishibai, which is a Japanese paper theatre technique. They use a little box, wooden box, with doors that open out. And when they open the doors, you've got an illustration inside. So they start narrating a story. Generally, it was a religious theme back then, centuries ago. And they would slide out the first drawing, or print, or whatever they had at that time, woodcut, and there'd be another woodcut behind. Slide that out. So it's like telling an illustrated story, but in a way, in a theatrical way, and in a religious setting. Then after the Second World War in Japan, people to make a living would go out on their bikes, and they'd have a kamishibai theatre on the back of their bikes. So stop in different small towns, and they put on a show for the kids. And instead of charging, it would be free to show, but they would sell sweets. You know, so that was their way of very, very nice. So that's why it became very popular. It sort of came out of the religious sphere and into the popular culture. And then that came to Argentina around 2009. A couple of friends who are puppeteers, they were doing kamishibai, they showed it to us and we thought it was great. So, you know, they were using paper for the thing. We thought, well, why not do it with cardboard and then start not just doing kamishibai, but developing other techniques, other ways of showing the storybook idea, but the way the pictures are shown as though they were a magic trick almost, except you see the trick. Yeah? So that's the short explanation. And we just want to say this is, I think we've got about 10 very short tales, absurd. A lot of you have been in workshops, been doing workshops with a lot of play, and the absurd is involved there. This is very absurd theatre. They're all stories we write ourselves. It's not all related to early warnings, but it's just a language that you guys can use for working in the profession. It's another way of informing what you're doing, getting a message across. Or rather than getting a message across, trying to get into other people's hearts and minds so that then you can get the message across a bit more effectively. So this is how we start. Oh, we could, right, so could we get to come more together? Is that nice? So we can start getting more together. Sounds good. You're fine. You're fine. If you feel like it, okay, all right. I like people who slip away because there's something magical about that.
No offense.
No, not at all. The amount of people who slip away. The amount of people who slip away during our performances is incredible. Get a high registry there. So, shall we okay. Well, we've had audiences that applaud.
And audiences that woo.
Audiences of thousands.
And audiences of two.
Audiences that know Kung Fu.
And audiences that go move.
Audiences so varied.
There are people from Peru.
But the audience we like the most.
This is so true.
Is the early warning audience that's right in front.
We mean you.
We mean you.
Oh no!
So now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. We have our two favourite friends, our clown friends, Chapita and Milanesa. And both of them are very interested in biodiversity, so you know the clowns like to wear a flower in their hat, so they're going to bring flowers back from the brink of extinction for this very event. And go for it.
Oh!
A flower, that's it, yeah. I found that's a Heliotropis popus, brought back from the brink of extinction. Come on, Milanesa, here we go.
Oh!
3 flowers! Let's go for it, Chapita! Let's get a few more of these A bouquet of almost pink flowers. And Milanesa, last but not least, Thank you very much. Capita Milanesa. Doing a great job there. Get these clips off, and we're going to tell you now a real story. Friends, now we have a story called The Bird That Didn't Want to Fly.
Once upon a time, there was a bird that didn't want to fly. She liked to feel her feet firmly planted on the ground and walked every day in the enchanted forest singing la 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 la.
And one day she came across a ferocious dog, and the ferocious dog said, "I'm going to eat you," and she ate her. End of story. Well, that wasn't actually the end of the story, because the local bird community of birds who don't want to fly had combined with the the National Ferocious Dog Early Warning System authorities, and they come up with a strategy that combined local indigenous bird knowledge with the latest science on ferocious dogs. So this is really how the whole thing played out. The bird who didn't want to fly.
Once upon a time, there was a bird that didn't want to fly. She liked to feel her feet firmly planted on the ground and walked every day in the enchanted forest singing la 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 la.
And one day she came across a ferocious dog. "I'm going to eat you."
Why do you want to eat me?
Because you can't fly.
But I can fly. It's just that I like to feel my feet firmly planted on the ground.
I'm still going to eat you.
Hold on, my friend. Let's make a deal. Would you like to fly?
I would love to fly, wouldn't we all?
Yes. Then I shall give you my wings so you can fly, and in return you don't eat me. Deal?
Dear. Then came a gust of magic wind from the enchanted forest, and the wings from the tiny little bird flew to the body of the dog, and the dog tried to fly. Very cool. And couldn't fly. So tried to fly a bit less cool. Couldn't fly! Tried ferociously to fly! I can't fly, I'm going to eat you.
Hold on, my friend. You know what happens. Your body is too big for my little wings. Let's make another deal. I'll give you my size body so you can fly, and you give me your size body. Deal?
Deal. There came a second gust of magic wind from the enchanted forest, and the dog became small and could fly. I can fly, but what happened to my voice?
That's what happened when you change size. Now it's my turn.
There came a third and final gust of magic wind from the enchanted forest, Pavarotti, 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 and the bird became huge.
Now I feel my feet firmly planted on the ground. Now I'm going to eat you.
Oh, no, please, don't eat me.
Don't worry, my friend. Nothing is going to happen.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I was so scared.
Scared? Why? Because I'm going to eat you.
I don't know, please don't eat me.
Don't worry, my friend. Nothing is going to happen.
Oh, thank goodness, because I was so scared.
Scared? Why? Because I'm going to eat you.
And so they lived happily, unhappily, happily, unhappily, happily, unhappily forever. Keep it cycle. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're a very kind audience, a very kind and just audience. Now, we have a tale from the jungle now.
Once upon a time, there was a jungle, and in that jungle, there was an elephant.
Hold on. Said the beautiful creature. What did you just say?
Once upon a time, there was
After that, what did you say?
an elephant.
Elephant? But I'm not an elephant.
But you have a trunk like an elephant, ears like an elephant, tusks like an elephant. If you are not an elephant, what are you?
I am a hippopotamus.
A hippopotamus.
And at that exact moment, there came flying along a very strange bird. The bird brain.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
This elephant says she's a hippopotamus. What do you think?
Well, if she says she's a hippopotamus, she must be a hippopotamus. And I have to fly. The bird flew away, and at that exact moment, there came along a lion.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask you a question? This elephant says she's a hippopotamus. What do you think?
Well, if she says she's a hippopotamus, she must be a hippopotamus, and I have to go. And at that exact moment, there came along another beautiful creature.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, if you must.
This elephant says she's a hippopotamus. What do you think?
Well, if she says she's a hippopotamus, she must be a hippopotamus.
But if she is a hippopotamus, then you must be also a hippopotamus.
Me? A hippopotamus? I'm not a hippopotamus. I'm a monkey. Kelisaro! Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now we have with us, very fast, a friend of ours, who'd like to present him, Hamza. Our friend Joey, he just come to meditate, come to the conference. He's trying to imbue the conference with a bit of calm amongst all the angst there is. So he's doing a bit of meditation at the moment just to calm things down. He's hearing a lot of very sensitive things about early warnings and the difficulties of actually communicating them. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale.
Hari Hari Krishna.
Inhale.
Hari.
Om.
Hari.
Om.
Hari.
Om.
Hari Hari Krishna. Hari Hari.
Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale.
Let's go.
Zero emissions flying. For anybody who's interested, Pablo especially is trying to get away from flying. Thank you very much, Katie Saro. We'll be trying that tomorrow on our way back to Argentina. And now we have, oh yes,
Boom, 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 boom. Hello.
Who are you?
I am Frankenstein.
Hello, Frankenstein. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. See you later.
See you later, alligator.
Boom, 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 boom.
Hello. Hello. Who are you?
I am the beast.
Oh, hello, Beast. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. See you later.
See you later, alligator. La 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 Oh, hello. Who are you?
See you later, alligator. Hello. I am the head of a fossil fuel company.
And now a tale from the depths of the sea, the tale of the wishfish. The wishfish swam in all the oceans, the seas, the lakes, the rivers and streams of the world, singing in his beautiful, strange voice.
Soy cordobés, me gusta el vino y la joda, la.
And one day she was swimming in a river, and on the river bank there was a girl who was smiling and winking her eye, who was fishing. She hadn't eaten in 2 days, and she fished the wish fish. She was about to eat it sushi style when along came a giant tortoise. And the tortoise said,
Hey, little girl, please, no, don't eat the wish fish. It's the last wish fish in the world because of climate change. If you eat it, there will be no wish fish on the planet or even for the universe. But if you throw the wish fish back into the river, the wish fish will grant you a wish, anything you decide.
the little girl, now frowning but still winking her eye, said, well, I think it sounds a bit like a fairy tale, a bit of a lie. But I do believe in biodiversity. We have to protect everything. And I'm a very good-hearted person, so she threw the wish fish back into the river. And in the river, the wish fish said, make your wish, little girl, anything you desire. The little girl, now smiling again, still winking her eye, said, well, maybe a fishing rod, maybe a huge, green, juicy apple. I know. I want wish fish for there to be 1 billion wish fish in all the oceans, the seas, the lakes, the rivers and streams of the world. What do you think, tortoise? The tortoise was still hanging around listening to the gossip, said,
That's a really healthy wish, especially for the wish fish.
the little girl, frowning again, winking her eye, said, I still don't believe any of this. The wish fish said, prepare yourself, little girl. The magic is about to start. Somebody, the most wonderfulest thing you ever did see. Boom. And suddenly there appeared 1 billion wish fish in all the oceans, the seas, the lakes, the rivers, streams, and puddles and toilets of the world. The little girl and her friends had enough to eat for the rest of their lives, but just in the last 5 minutes they had become vegan. Now, fun fact, the wish fish can absorb 20 times more carbon dioxide than any other sea organism and expends humongous amounts of oxygen. So thanks to the little girl's wish, in this reality, net zero was achieved! And now, yes, where are we going with this? We have no idea, but here we go. We have a friend who works in early warning systems, yeah? So, likes to get everything really well planned, you know, there's a lot of detail. And he came to us last week and he said, I'm going to plan my funeral. What funeral? You're not dying or anything. You know, he wasn't dying, he wasn't ill, he just wanted to get it out of the way. So he went to a funeral parlour and the salesman offered him this. He said, look, we have this mausoleum. It has a beautiful Italian marble facade, 2 beautiful Greek columns, a base of solid gold, and an original teak coffin.
It's too ostentatious for me.
Too ostentatious? Okay, well, we could take away the Italian marble facade, leave the columns, the base, and the coffin, and add some drapes made of exotic animal skins.
I am vegan.
Oh, you're vegan. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, well, in that case, what we could do is just have the coffin by itself encrusted with precious gems.
I don't support the mining of a precious gems, and I don't have much money, but I want to collaborate with the planet.
We have just what you need.
¡Qué bizarro!
Please, stop it! Where are we going from here? And yes, we have...
Vanessa.
Vanessa? Oh, Vanessa. Okay, we have a friend with us today, thanks to Eugenia. Convince Vanessa, the vidente. Vanessa, the medium. Vanessa, who has an answer to any question. For the first time in the history of Hameed, she's joining us up here on stage. And normally you have to pay a lot of money to ask her a question. But today, for you guys, girls, people, there is 2 questions free of charge.
Oh.
So, anyone with the first question? Anyone with the first question? Free of charge, anything. I mean, you all come here with questions. Some have come with answers as well, or half answers. So, let's hear it. What do you want to know? Vanessa has an answer for any question. Please.
Will we reach next week?
That is a very good question, and Vanessa is about to get ready. She's going into zombie mode. Ooh.
The third eye open.
And in the crystal ball.
The fog start to clear.
And the answer, Lisa, is about to appear. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, she has an answer for any question. Lucky you didn't play, otherwise you might want to get a bit violent with us about it. Okay, well, second question. Let's try a second question. See if we can get somewhere else with this. Second question, totally free of charge. Go on, Lily. You're a busy mind there. Yes.
Meaning of life.
That is the best question. That is the best question. Absolutely love it. So it goes into trance again. Bésame, bésame mucho.
And the third eye open.
And in the crystal ball.
The fog start to clear.
Here comes the answer, Andrew. What is the meaning of life? I don't know.
Oh.
The answer is in you, or in GPT-4.
Everybody!
Thank you very much. And now we need we've got 2 more short stories to go. We've got 1 bit of participation. So is there somebody who's not too tall here who wants to participate? Donna, would you like to? A bit
Applause.
Thank you. Okay, come in front of the table, please. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a short rhyme. It's a short story. It's about an acrobat. We actually developed it for Meadowlark, for the trapeze training that we did that in Maine in the United States with Pepper. And now we're presenting it here. Now basically we're going to put bits of cardboard in front of you with a hole in that. Yeah, it's like the pier side, holes you put your legs through and you have another body. And you can do what you like. Yeah, you don't have to listen to the rhyme or anything, just do exactly what you like. Is that okay? Okay. So here we go. This is called Fall. She was an acrobat from birth, and once walked the tightrope high above the earth. And through no fault of her own, and through a lack of an early warning system, off the tightrope, she was blown by a hurricane. Well, she knew exactly what to do. Keep the calm and enjoy the view. She could be falling quite some time. To fuss and worry would be a crime. Up there, in the higher atmosphere, everything becomes so clear. Many things are floating there, like cooking stoves and things to wear. She fell and failed just like a stone, but luckily she wasn't alone. Birds and insects kept her company, and together they studied microbiology. She looked down on the earth below, on the horizon, unhappily, still no net zero. Climate change was doing harm, no easy fix, no ready bomb. She also, a book on risk she wrote. Got it here? Oh, got it here. Okay, and she wrote a book on risk she wrote about how to fall from a tight rope. These sort of things can be very, very risky after a glass or 2 of whiskey. Then she offered therapy, which for many was quite heavenly. She also told many dark tales of the suffering of trees and whales. She even won a Nobel Prize, all in all for being nice, and because she taught things she knew, like animals don't belong in zoos. The years passed by, time passed by, and age came on. The years piled up and, well, youth was gone. She'd fallen far, she'd fallen long. Time to put her into song. Needless to say, not one dry eye when the time came to say goodbye. She passed away peacefully in her sleep, safe and sound, just 6 feet above the ground. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ron. We have a present for you afterwards. Okay? So, okay, we're coming to the last tale now, and it is.
I am the immortal,
I was born out of the post-primordial soup.
along with an infinite number of brothers and sisters and others.
Our creators sent us out into the world, unprotected, without a guide, at the mercy of destiny.
Others, similar to our creators, exploiting us, enslaving us.
They made us carry their possessions, their absurd objects.
They're rubbish.
They are no longer with us.
They are only us.
The years pass by, the centuries pass by, the millennia pass by. Now we're alone. We are the immortals. I am the immortal. I am a plastic bag.
Thank you
very much. Thank you very much. And well, as we say, we stick all this stuff again, just because we've got it with us, you know, it took us a lot to get all this stuff. Thank you very much. We have a little gift for one I'll give it to you after. It's a miniature version of the Immortal. So, actually, we could all. Let's see if there's enough. We don't want to go without. So I mean, does anybody want to ask any questions? You know, interested in knowing anything about the technique, or you know, all these sorts of things like. There you go. This is a small version. You've got the script in it as well. But be a wonderful idea about the People Library. Very yeah, could be so patient. Lisa. Oh. Let's see, we've got some more here. We've got to leave one thing to leave, but I've got some other stuff here. Maybe two there. And we've got another little one. Yes, the question.
Yeah. Why do you think this type of storytelling is the one you've gone for?
Well, in my case, it's because I come from cartooning. So I've been doing cartooning for magazines and newspapers for 40 years. And I've always been interested in theatre. So it just came one day when we saw Kamishirai. It was, this is the opportunity to put cartooning into theatre. And that's why we keep everything as flat as we can, you know, so there's that idea that you're opening up a magazine. And well, then I love magic tricks. So the way the images are produced on stages or in any setting is like a magic trick, but where everybody sees what the trick is. And yes, Lisa, you have another question?
Lots of questions. I'm just wondering, what do you? I mean, tell us about a time when you performed for an audience that where you've seen some kind of shift in the room or a change. Is it with children? Is it with I don't know, impromptu audiences? Where do you feel like you are making the biggest impact, and what is that impact?
Well, different audiences are different, yeah. Distinto público son distintos, ¿no?
Cada público es especial.
Every audience is a beast, a nice beast, you know, and very different. And where you're coming from is so different. We believe a lot in theatre not as a commodity, so it's not something you say, all right, what we're going to do tonight, let's go to the theatre. But what are we going to do on Friday? Well, let's spend the week finding out what we're going to see, you know? So we were in Kenya recently with the Red Cross doing this show, but we had a whole 4 days with the people there building up. There were a lot of delegates from 23 African nations developing a new strategy for a Pan-African strategy on DRR and climate adaptation. And we were there doing cartoons like we're doing here, but we also had the show. So when we got to the show, everybody knew us. They knew how we thought. They'd seen the cartoons. So there was a lot more meaning put into what they saw. They could see many more levels of meaning than if it was just presented as a commodity, a Friday night, let's have a laugh.
If I may compliment regarding Lisa's question, because I wasn't in that Pan-African Red Cross event, but Bettina was there, imagine, you know, Bettina Köhler. And she said that that performance was one of the most magical moments where people felt like something was opening. So the weird thing about the absurdist theater that they offer, the cartoons that are often playing with the absurd, is that it unleashes something. I really cannot explain it. I frankly do not understand it, but I see the impact. I see that. I mean, why are you here? This was all like, what is going on? And yet there's something captivating that opens up, that invites, and I treasure. We're so grateful. One day we may understand it.
Yes, Andrew.
What's the best gig here?
The best gig, this one. And second best gig, I would say Kenya. Kenya was there was just a super communication. You know, there was a lot of feeling. I mean, it's the one gig where we've had as many days as that to talk with what will be the audience, and that makes such a difference. You know, we're trying to get there on a commercial level with that, just saying to people, look, you know, pay us for the day, but let us come in, say if it's a school or even if it's a community, whatever community, let us come in and be at least an hour a day talking, drawing with people, so that when we get to it, there's a lot more meaning, you know, people get a lot more meaning out of it. So we're talking about slow culture, not fast culture. I mean, we talked a lot about this with Pablo, with other people, how, you know, last century was about, the best thing was to get as many eyes on you as possible, yeah? So it was 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, that was the best. That, ever bigger was the best. And I think now we realise, if we're really going to communicate, we have to go small, yeah? And take more time, earn less money. But, you know, go small. When we get invited to schools, especially with adolescents, I mean, this really goes down well with adolescents. You know, they'll say, look, we've got 400 kids, can you do us a show? Yeah, we can. But we're not going to do it for 400, we'll do 10 shows, yeah, for 40 kids at a time. We're alone, we try and act without microphones, so that only those who can hear us are present, you know, yeah, so we don't have to shout or anything, and it becomes a real living room experience, and a lived experience. So we believe in going small, earning less money, but in the end, something else comes out of that. I mean, the adolescents are just, you know, really great. And even primary, I mean, we can do most of this show for primary school kids and even for kids of like 4 to 6 year olds as well. And each age range will be fascinated by different things, and adults see totally other things.
So is this the same show you show to everyone, or does it evolve and change depending on culture and where you are?
Lo mostrano a todos, no? Yeah, it's for everyone. It's for everyone. For all cultures. I mean, that's what's been so good about. I mean, when we did in Kenya, that was the first time we did it in English. We've been doing it for 8 years in Castellano, in Spanish. Yeah, so all around Argentina, then Mexico and Chile, places like that. So there are similarities in the culture, but there are differences. And we were quite nervous about doing it in English. I mean, there was the first week in Kenya was a Pan-African strategy, and the second week was a Global Innovation Summit, where there were people from all over the world, and there were even English people. Now, I'd never done it for English people. I'd never done it. I thought, you know, will they understand the humour? I mean, I published cartoons in newspapers here many years ago, but I think people never understood because I used to get sacked off, you know, very often from the newspaper because basically nobody understood humour. And but you know, people actually did pick up on it, so that surprised us a bit that it was fairly global.
Creo también que todas las edades están buenas porque hace que se abra la posibilidad de diálogo en las familias y hay una capacidad de lectura para las distintas edades, ¿no?
Yeah, so all the ages are welcome because it means especially when you get a family group, then the whole family can talk. You know, the little one will have a question about this, and the adult will have another question. And the little one will answer the adult, and the adult will be able to answer the little one, or at least open up a conversation.
Have you run workshops at all with kids or other groups where you get them to tell their own stories?
Oh,
to
yeah,
do their own
yeah,
things?
It's los talleres. Yeah, I mean the adolescents are the best. I mean they are the
Why is
most
that?
creative.
Don't they feel a little bit too old for being silly? When you say adolescent, because I have an adolescent at home, so they're always too old to do anything silly.
12 to 18, 12 to 18,
Wow,
and the type of subject matter we deal with, they just seem to pick up on it. They pick up on it faster than the adults. So they see it as very, very rebel. Yeah, they see it very rebel.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is very rebel. I think it's basically just telling things how they are. And no, I mean we've robbed ideas from them left, right, and centre. They don't know. They have no idea. No, but they're really, really interesting stuff. I mean, the workshop we did yesterday, Pablo was present there. Who was the president? Well, Amelia was present. My daughter up there is documenting. As Nico is also documenting this time, he's documenting with his eyes. And it was, I mean, I'm always surprised how adults, because adults I think are the most inhibited. Yeah, and it's always surprising to me, and especially we did the workshop yesterday, we saw Pablo's workshop this morning, the workshop here, but especially this morning with all the very complex narrative that Pablo developed on the basis of donut economics. It was really surprising how everybody got into it and had you have groups of 8 people, I mean, that's pretty tough going, getting them to come together and work out a story, and they had absurd in it. They actually had managed to put the absurd into it. Yesterday we had smaller groups, and it's, the people who were in yesterday's workshop, there are some of them went to Pablo's workshop today, and they said to us, it was really nice to have a slide in. Yeah, so the workshop yesterday was like a bit of a slide in. It was a bit lighter because we let them have it wasn't so technical, yeah, they could get away with anything as long as it had to do with something in the conference, yeah, but without dictating a message, yeah, it's just about enjoying yourself and develop a story around something that's troubling you, that's challenging you, but make it more absurd than messaging, yeah. And so today we saw some of them working with Pablo, and they're just totally free spirits, So we're talking about that, talking about slow culture. Let's not just do a 3-hour workshop or a 1.5-hour. Let's do 3 days with workshops. Really get into it and enjoy it. And in between the conference parts. Link them together. Let's get more linked together in what we do with your stuff. The presentation that you guys did. This could all be linked together in some way. We could talk a bit beforehand, and just find a way to synchronize. And again, another thing we do, we develop tailor-made stories for people. So after the Kenya experience, Bettina, they were developing, it's on the West African drought and flood situation, it's called, it's to do with water, so she said she really liked the immortal, the thing that folds out. It's just a 1-page thing, so it's just a simple concept that really anybody could develop that technique. She said, well, can you do 2 more, but about water and about drought? So we did that. We haven't got them here. I'm happy to show you. There are videos, but not the same. And so we did tailor-made stuff for her for the Red Cross Climate Centre. And a lot of people in Kenya were interested in getting some tailor-made tales made for them, which could be made with them. The best thing would be that they make them, obviously.
I like what you said, how you said it around give them more than messaging, because if you just tell them what they need to know, they'll walk away and not talk about it. By giving them something bizarre, it gives them something to talk about. We know that discussion is usually a precursor to something else, to action. So prompting a conversation.
Yes, it's a prompt. The absurd is a prompt. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And applause for Lorna for her work.
Yes,
what do you call what you do? What's the name for it? Does it have a name?
Graphic recording.
The graphic recording,
Yeah.
right? Graphic recording. Okay.
There's also quite an overlap with adults being more repressed, I would say, in looking at these images, that also using it. I've also worked in science communication with comics, and that's also something where many people say, oh, no, that topic is way too serious to be communicated by a comic. On the other hand, it's one of the only things that actually is able to communicate this in a way that people also want to read, interact with. So I see some overlap between my work and your work, definitely.
Well, it's been really good. It's been really good for us to meet all of you guys, hearing your ideas, seeing the games you play, and obviously the games you play.
And you haven't seen her juggle.
We've seen the juggling sticks. We've been waiting all day to see that. Yeah. Will we see some of that tomorrow or today?
Well, I thought someone else might know as well, and I was going to juggle with them, but at any time.
You want to do some juggling now? I mean, people. No,
Well done.
Love it, love it.
Thank you.
Pablo, this is the version.
Oh, the juggling, nice.
So that's a present for you.
Those are amazing, thank you so much.
So I juggle, that's what I do.
Yes.
So I do.
Good juggling.
Before you go, what can you tell us about, so you are in this conference, so there must be something about early warnings or risk or something that matters to you, and you're also a juggler, because when I started telling people I was fascinated by circus artists, they were like, what do you mean? And then here you are. What do you sense as overlaps or relevant something?
Well, circus has always been separate to what I do, so I'm a technical scientist, I guess. I work with modelling, things like that, flooding, landslides. But coming to here and seeing your workshops and things has been really interesting because there is loads of overlap, especially with the mental health stuff we do. Because moving the body and getting creative is really good for effective communication and knowing where people come from. And I think, your juggling workshop this morning and picking up where people drop and people fail is also really important. And just the continued effort everyone has, because learning to juggle is so difficult. Learning to unicycle, juggle, circus skills, and you just have to keep going. So you drop, you pick up, you drop, you pick up, you drop, you pick up. But at the end, you can do it. And so I think that's also really relevant, I guess, to what we do in the PRR community. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we fail, we say, oh, we failed, and then we keep failing only. We go ever since.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and for the record, when you said the juggling workshop, what I did was to throw a ball up and sometimes catch it.
Yeah.
You should definitely do your future talk juggling.